Hello, everybody. OPEC has done it. They have cut 2 million barrels per day of oil that is going to be coming online. They're going to be starting this in November, and this is going to surge the price, inflation on everything. And this is going to directly impact your largest investment, which is your house. Let's dig into it. All right, you guys, we're going to be talking today about the OPEC deal. Now, for those of you who don't know, OPEC is this conglomerate of countries that produce oil that try to kind of tell the whole world what the pricing will be for that oil. Now, this is obviously a real political game. But if we just look at any one of the stories that we want today, this one is just at cbcnews.ca. CBC.ca. OPEC to cut production by 2 million barrels a day. This is the first meeting that they have had. Now, let's look onto this. Now, the alliance has decided to boost sagging crude prices. So the price that you are paying today is far too cheap. According to OPEC, they want you to pay a lot more. Now, the supply cut production to support sagging oil prices. They think the price that you're paying today is way too low. 2 million barrels a day starting November. They're trying to make deals with Russia, who's one of the largest gas suppliers on earth. Now, I find it very funny, not haha funny, but haha weird, that Biden has tried to take credit for all the prices of of gas having fallen over the past few months. So when the price of fuel has fallen, Biden took a lot of credit for that. But doesn't that mean that you got to take some credit if the price goes up? All right, bucko. Okay. So the price is going way up and is going to continue to go up in November, December as these cuts are really, really going to be taking effect. So if we continue on that same article on CBC, little bit later on, they're talking about Iran. Iran is another big problem because they have a nuclear deal going to be happening with them. Will they or will they not? So they will not be getting that 1.5 million barrels per day coming on. And they're expecting the prices, to go to $130 right now for oil. Now, I need you to play this out in your mind and let me know what you guys think. Banks are only willing to lend you money if you can afford it. That is it. So if you can afford it is the only way. Oh, boy. I lost it. Hey, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Yeah? All right. Hopefully you can hear me. So listen, guys, OPEC and banks are only willing to lend you the money that they can afford and that has no risk to them. That is the basic part. OPEC now, by driving the price of oil up, is going to severely impact the value of your home. Remember that a bank looks at all of these numbers and they say, how much money could you afford for food? How much can you afford for fuel and all the other things in life? And then whatever is left over is going to go into your home bucket. This is because if you go back and just look at the past few years, banks are normally willing to lend you 5 times your salary. In times like these that are highly inflationary, we're seeing banks coming out saying they're only willing to lend you 3 times your salary. Let's put that into perspective. You make $100,000 a year. Before, they would lend you $500,000 a mortgage. Now, $100,000 per year will only get you $300,000 of mortgage. That will severely impact the price of homes. Now, when OPEC drops the value of how much production and the price goes up. So imagine what we were at before, $2.25, $2.40 a liter for Americans, right? That we pay way more than the Americans do. That would be paying $10 a gallon down the States. But if we're going to go back to that, imagine now that the inflation is going to take over and the banks will be willing to lend you less and less on your home. This is going to have a direct impact on the value of your home. In addition, all the particles, all the pieces that come from your home, all the wood that is made overseas, all of the electrical components, the shingles, the doors, all of the windows, they all have to be shipped here on a boat. And as they're all coming across, they're burning a lot more fuel That means the cost has to go up on all of them. Now let's talk about petroleum products that are in your house. Your wood floors have all of those finishes on it made from petroleum products. All your plumbing pipes, all that PEX tube, all made from petroleum products. Your windows, all of the casings are all made from petroleum products. The shingles on your roof, petroleum. The Tyvek around your house, petroleum. Everything is controlled by energy. 100%. Life is energy, period. There is no other quantity. We take energy and turn it into stuff. So when energy becomes more expensive, everything down the chain becomes more expensive. So if everybody is only going to be able to qualify for 3 times their salary, we got to expect home prices to drop. Now, I'm seeing people all over the place trying to tell us that September is the best time to buy. August was the best time to buy. Now October is the best time to buy. Buy the dip. I'm going to put it out there that I cannot see this happening anyway except down. So just be careful. Whoever you're talking to, try to do your own due diligence. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to them. I want you to do your own due diligence and do this work. So I try to keep up on it 3 to 4 hours a day to try to get through this. So I want you guys to get better. So let's take a look at a couple other articles when we're talking about Canada, okay? I got a couple more that I want to show you. So if you go and check out this website, it's called ycharts.com, ycharts.com. It'll show you what the production has been over the past couple years. Now, you could see over the past couple years what has happened. It has kind of was high, 84 million barrels per day, every single day, of course, into 2020, right? And when the world shut down, the production dropped to nothing. It dropped down to, if you look at the chart, down to 70 million. Okay, so it went from 84 million down to 70 million. And today it's at 78, and it's going to drop down to 76. Here's the point. We have never needed fuel more, and we're desperately short, okay? So it dropped from 84 million, and now it's going to be at 76 million. This is a big difference. You could see how we dropped off on that chart, and we've come back a little bit, but we're not even where we were at before, and the need for fuel is only going up. Now, I hear a lot of the time that people are trying to tell us, well, I hope that things are going to get better. And it's great. I want to feel hope in my heart. I honestly do. But we also have to be realistic about the situation that we're in. In 2019, we still had oil coming from Iran. That shut down 1.5 million per day. Now, Russia has shut off those pipes and they haven't come. Now, we always come back to this green thing. Now, to be honest, I actually really love green technology. I think it's amazing. It's so cool that we can get free energy. But it's not just free, because we have to get all of the material, the raw silver, raw copper, raw iron, all of the raw goods from places like China and Ukraine, have them made in China and then have them sent over. We don't have that. So in the meantime, just trying to live with no fuel, nobody with gas to drive to work. Do you know in Switzerland, you can get thrown in jail for 3 years if you turn your heater above 66 degrees? Unbelievable. So, the answer isn't to freeze people to death and to starve hundreds of millions of people. That's not the answer. So this great electric car idea, I love the electric car idea. It's a fantastic, wouldn't you love just a clean energy? But we're not just having no emissions. We've just made somewhere else have the emissions, wherever they're mining all the lithium and making the batteries. This is the problem. I went in Canada to go to the Ontario Electric Car Discovery Center. I think that's what it's called. And when we were there, they said, well, we have a 500-kilometer battery. And I'm like, this is awesome. 500 kilometers. I can go like really far. I could drive all the way to Montreal from Toronto. So when I saw that, I was like, this is great. And the guy goes, hang on a second. Would you ever drive with the heater on in the winter? And I'm like, it's minus 30 outside, guys. Of course I'm going to drive with the heater on, right? And he goes, okay, well, that doesn't mean 500 kilometers. That means you're only going to get like 425. And I'm like, oh, well, that's bad. He goes, but if you drive in the winter, it's also 25% less battery. So then we are down to like 350 or I don't know, something like that in kilometers. He goes, and do you have, will you ever have a bag in your back seat or have anyone else in the car? I'm like, well, yeah. Okay. So by the end of the story, I only had like 175 or something or 200 kilometers that I could actually go. in winter with a passenger with the heater on. And if I turn the wipers on, it's going to go down even more. Like, so if you have to drive far like I do, then it's not going to really be something for you. This is the thing. I'm not saying don't keep pushing to try to get to a green agenda. We need that. The earth is warming. Okay. I don't know. A million billion scientists are all saying the earth is warming and we could see the effects. We need something. The answer is, though, I don't think EVs. I think it's got to be something else that can create it, but I don't know what that answer is yet. So who knows? Maybe Elon Musk will come out with something better. I don't know. Flying cars or something. The point is we need all of that material. That's why you guys know that I love silver so much, because everything in the green revolution between solar panels and EVs and all that has been mandated into law all requires an enormous amount of silver. So I think that the prices will have to go up. Here is the base, though. If you have a large house, that large house is going to be going down with the economy. So the only thing that may or may not save you nominally is the fact that there will be a lot of money printing and a lot of inflation. But remember, purchasing power wise, you're probably going to be losing. That's why I always say for you, now is not the time to be buying, because you got to let that forest fire burn through the economy. And you're going to really see some capitulation later on in the year. What you're seeing today is all of these people that had pre-approvals in the spring and summer that are good for 3 months, 4, 6 months pre-approvals, and they have rates from 6 months ago. They're kind of buying right now because they feel their time is running up. They don't want a new 6 and 7% mortgage. They want the one from 6 months ago that they were promised. Now, a lot of banks are pulling those offers back and saying, forget it. We know we promised it. We're not going to do that anymore. We're taking back our offer. We don't want to give it to you. Okay. So that's trouble, right? But when you're going to see this real trouble is over this winter, as everybody's pre-approvals is gone bye-bye, and then their rates have got to be way higher, then they're not going to be able to afford it anymore. As banks will only lend 3 times your salary instead of 5, and the amounts have come down. Oh boy, it's going to be a serious doozy over the winter. That's what I think. I'm putting it out there. I'd like to know what you guys think. If you think that this is going to happen, I'd like to know. And if you don't think it's going to happen, I'd like to know why. I really honestly would. All right, you guys, let's look into a little bit more of Canadian information I thought was really, really interesting. They did this poll. Nearly half of Canadians are on the brink of insolvency, which is a massive, massive problem. There is these huge polls that are going around, and it's saying Canadians are finding it more difficult to pay for food, housing, and transportation. Nearly half are on the brink of insolvency as rising interest rates and soaring inflation continue to weigh on household budgets. Now, you guys know that. I know that. It's very, very high. But this consumer debt index found that 46% of Canadians are going to be close to insolvency. But what is the definition of their insolvency? $200. So I need you just to hear that again, okay? This is like so important here. 46% of Canadians are $200 away from insolvency. And everybody we're talking to says, oh, home prices are going to rebound back to where they were within a month or two. And I don't think so. I think that the damage will continue to happen. So this is why I want you guys to be extremely careful right now. Okay, so let's keep going. Got a few more things to talk to you about in the National Post, even to make things a little bit worse for Canada. Canada is one of the worst countries in the world when it comes to population, and it's aging over the next decade. So it says it's less predictable will be the public policy response to the labor market shortage and the fiscal shortages that will come from that. We are having a massive drop in population, which is quite scary. And this is going to affect your home prices. If there are no humans left in Canada to buy homes, I mean, ask Japan. They know all about this right now. That means that we're going to have to either have a lot of babies or we're going to have to bring in a lot of immigrants. If you go to nationalpost.com, you guys could check out that article that talks about that. It is how the percentage of seniors is going up and up and up every year. So if we look back just to 2 years ago, we were sitting around 27%. And just in 10 years, we're going to be sitting just shy of 40% of the population will be seniors, which is a shocking number for us. And we have to be very, very careful about that. Now, if you want to do even better, I want you to go to this website called statcan.gc.ca. Now, that's the stats that are released by Statistics Canada. If you take a look at that, it's going to show you some real numbers. So a typical population should be like a pyramid, okay? 100-year-olds up here, 90-year-olds here, 80-year-olds, a little bit more 70-year-olds, and like at the bottom, the baby's got to be like massive, to the moon. So you're looking for that pyramid. But if you go and look at the charts that they have at StatsCan, you'll see these massive bulges. And obviously it's really cool. It has from 1850 all the way up. But as you start going through, it always looks like this beautiful pyramid up and down. And of course, 1945, the Second World War happens. And man, oh man, did we ever take a whammo, okay, 1945. The bubble started with all those baby boomers, and it just continued on and on and on and got worse and worse and worse, to the point that today we are now looking at this massive bubble at the top with no babies at the bottom. So we got to be really, really careful about how we are right today and how we move forward with that. This is where I think that we got to use our brains and figure out what we should be doing. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. All of the properties that are very expensive in my portfolios, all the ones that we control, we're going to be selling those expensive ones. We already have. We locked in those low rates last year. We're selling the expensive properties, and we're putting them into essential homes, like entry-level properties. So entry-level properties will get affected far, far, far less. So if today is the day that you're in a big home, it might be a good time for you to think about selling it before we really see the damage over the wintertime. When we're talking about not only population, taxes are going up, fuel is going to be spiking like crazy, interest rates are spiking like crazy, and nobody can get any money from the banks anymore. We're talking about a convergence of a lot of problems, and I can only see how home prices could be going down. So we're getting into smaller entry-level homes. That's going to help us out a lot. And we're putting cash and reserves on the side, ready to buy when prices are a lot better. And we're always never looking at the purchase price. We're looking at the value by figuring out how much we can rent it for and how safe our investments will be. I'm putting a lot of our emergency funds into gold and silver. You know that I love that type of stuff. If you are in an entry-level home now, and let's say that you didn't buy the entry-level home within the last 2-3 years with the big, massive boom. If you bought it in that time, you're going to have a little bit of headaches. Quite a bit of trouble could come for you. But if you bought it even like 4 or 5 years ago and you're in an entry-level property and you have some equity in it, great. Just sit in it. Wait a while for this to play out, and then we're going to be able to buy more properties at even better deals later on. Anyway, a lot is going on in the markets, you guys. It is bananas. We're going to be making another video about the 3 massive economies that went into collapse last week. Massive. Last week, we saw Japan and China and England all have to massively print $100 billion like each just to stay solvent. Big problem. This week, we're looking at Swiss Bank and Deutsche Bank in Europe, also on the brink. So we're going to see this contagion go through the market. And what are they always going to do? What all good governments do, right? They just print a lot more money, which means a lot more inflation. So that is what we have to look forward to. I can't see any way around it, but if you see that ray of sunshine that I'm not seeing, I'd love to know about it. So please leave me a comment below. Let me know. I'm always here for your health, wealth, and happiness. I want you to be happy. I want you to crush it. And if you know anybody that this would help, just send it to one person. It would really help out the channel a real ton. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Please remember to like and follow and subscribe to this. And I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube and Instagram. You can follow me at all those places. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, guys, let me grab my glasses. I saw some comments coming in on YouTube. If you want to make some comments, I'll try to get to them on TikTok as well. If you have any questions, shoot them at me. I'll let you know. Mr. Incognito, you said you sold your house last month. Cool. Why didn't you call me? You know I'm a real estate broker in Toronto. I operate all over Toronto. Canada's ample sunlight, solar energy, pretty awesome. Actually, not in all of Canada. Actually, there's a lot of places that are quite gray. We have land, right? But it's not sunny, and it's not sunny for a lot of the year. The more south that you go, the better it is. Um, is the price of silver still good? Lee, I've been buying silver since 2010. We buy it regularly and we keep on stacking nonstop. So we're buying it always. Oh, Sheriff, you said it's actually 35 or 40% less battery in the winter for electric cars. My goodness. Isn't that unbelievable? So, guys, I don't have one, but you know what? I have my name down for the new Cybertruck. You know, the huge, massive beast of a truck. Absolutely love it. I hope that I get to keep it, but um, I don't know. With that battery, I might not want it anymore. Our politicians need to think about Canada first and then the rest of the world. Currently, it's the opposite. Absolutely. That's exactly what they're doing. They're thinking of the world first and us last, right? All right, you guys. So, are you interested in any properties that you're looking to buy? Any properties that you're looking to sell? Maybe I could tell you some things about different areas. If you want to shoot me the areas that you're interested in selling, I can let you know about it. Are your larger homes for sale near future rented? I've sold all the larger homes. I think other people should be selling their large homes too. Were they rented? Yeah, they were rented, but we had to get the tenants to move out. Um, all right, you guys, I think that everybody should be buying some gold and silver. We're heading into some really rough times. I would suggest always to get some of these. These are silver rounds. I think these are good. The actual, if you're going to look at the silver eagles for the United States, crazy premiums, absolutely bananas, don't even make sense. Buying some gold in a 1 ounce form instead of buying the coin, huge benefit to you. Way, way, way cheaper. Lee is mentioning one of my videos. I said they're going to be stopping interest rates. Yeah, I think they will. And that just depends how fast the economy is going to crash. They are going to have to pause and reverse on rates. But when will that happen? So, you know, the government is saying, oh, it's not going to happen for a year or two. We're going to keep on going. I don't believe that. I think that they're going to run into such problems sometime over the winter between now and March. I don't know. That's about when I would think. And then they're going to start reversing. Montreal Services, you said, what am I selling soon? So when I'm talking about selling, remember, I have my own personal properties, which I've already dealt with. I was dealing with all of this last year, at the end of last year. And when I was locking in all my rates, because I saw all this headache coming on the horizon, right? When I don't believe most of the things that any government of the world is going to tell you, they're just going to tell you what they want you to do. But what I do believe is when they're going to tell you that they're going to be raising interest rates, I believe them. When they say that inflation is 9% and they will only pay me 3% on my treasuries or bonds, I know that I'm going to lose 6%. I know that's a promise any government is going to keep. We promise to steal 6% of your money every year. That's a promise they're going to keep. So when they're going to raise rates, I knew that was going to happen. Lock it in when I could. But now that we're heading into a different zone, we have to change the way that we do things, right? As you know, I'm a real estate broker. I work all over Greater Toronto area. We also do advisory and consulting to people all over North America. But when we're talking about selling other properties, I'm also talking about doing that in my profession when we're selling properties. Ahmed, is it a good time to sell your property? Really depends on the type of your property, Ahmed. So if you are in entry level properties, then I wouldn't be leaving an entry level property. If you're in an entry level property, you want to probably stay in it. If you're in a big house, then you probably are going to want to sell it. And now also is dependent, right? Because an entry level house in Toronto is not the same as an entry level house out in the middle of the prairies when you're all alone on a farm. Very, very different. So whatever the prices are, people are going to be going to the lowest price items. This is how it happens in every single recession in history. So the higher the leverage on the property, the more that you might want to be thinking about selling it. Ahmed, if you're anywhere in the Greater Toronto area, you can click the link in my bio. It's a free session with me to look to sell your home. No obligation, absolutely free. Click here and just book a time with me if you're in the Greater Toronto area. YouTube, if you have any questions, please put it below. I'm going to be leaving in a couple minutes, so if you guys have any questions, can you please put them out here, and I'll help you. Losing my voice from talking too much. Oh, you're in New York. Yeah, Ahmed, I can't help you. But can I ask you, Ahmed, are you in New York City or are you in New York State? See, if you're in New York City, yeah, you want to get rid of it. You got to get out. Edwin, you said you're in Halifax and the market is really, really coming for a big readjustment soon. Absolutely. It's going to be getting hammered. And remember, I always say the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So the more expensive your home, the more it's going to readjust. So we're seeing homes that are 20 million dropping by 25%, 5 million bucks off. Whammo. That's going to be very common. But we're also seeing properties at the 2 million mark losing 25, 30%. But here's the thing. Once you get into a property in Toronto, entry level, 500,000, they're not going down hardly at all. So, that is where you need to protect yourself. Just let's say that you had a $4 million house. We had this guy that was on here before. He was selling a $4 million house. If you had a $4 million house, I would sell it and buy 8 small houses. Ahmed, you're on Long Island. Cool, man. So Long Island is, it's not on the Manhattan, right? There's Manhattan, and on the side is that Long Island, and you have that, what you call it? The rail car, not a rail car, but, looks like a ski lift over to the other side. But the prices in Long Island are really reasonable, right? So the lower the price, the safer you are. The more expensive it is, the more danger you're in. Edwin, you said you can remember 4 years ago that we were selling homes for 200,000 and now they're 800,000. Yeah, unbelievable, right? Makes you fear of missing the boat. But this is the thing is, when the markets are doing well, everyone has a fear of missing out. I'm afraid because I'm going to miss out. And then as the markets are crashing, they're like, I'm afraid I'm going to overpay. I'm going to overpay. I'm afraid of missing out. I'm afraid of missing out. Everybody's fearful the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Fear up, fear down, fear up, fear down. What do they call that? Fear, FOMO up. And then what's fear of overpaying? Foop on the way down. Fear, every direction. And so I have buyers that have been looking for 5 years for homes. So I'm just going to keep it quiet, and I'm just going to see what's going to happen. Well, if you've been looking for 5 years, it means you're not having the right teachers or the right mentors. You have to be educated on the market so that you're able to make the right types of calls. You have to be always looking. It doesn't matter what the market is. I'm always looking for homes. We're always putting in offers. If you can make some money off of the property, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Take it. The problem is when people are like fear always, they have no education on it, right? That's why I always say financial education is the key to everything. That's why you guys, if you're interested, you can send me an email to contact@Ruff Team Realty and write course in it. We have a very extensive course that's going to be coming out. It's going to be like 20 hours. Basically everything I've learned in the past 20 years of my life smushed together to help you get your financial education. So if you want to write me, contact@Ruff Team Realty, contact@Ruff Team Realty, same name, and just write book if you want the book and write course in the subject line if you're interested in the course. Edwin, you said, I have 5 acres on the edge of Halifax and I withstood the barrage of offers and still own it. Good job, man. Nice. Well, I hope that you have a fantastic property. Amazing. Montreal Services, as you know, I am not a real estate broker and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not allowed to really comment in a professional manner. I can just tell you what I do for myself. But for myself, right now, if you didn't follow my advice over the past year when I was saying, fix your rate, if I came to right now, you got to make your call, what you think, because the rate is looking to go up another 1.5% by December. And then what? And then they're going to hold. They believe 5% is their neutral rate. So if 5% is their neutral rate, that means your mortgages might be 6.5 or 7. Okay. That's how high it could go. But I think they're going to start pulling that back when the economies get pretty poor. But you got to do your own due diligence on that and what you think is going to be the best. Personally, if you've ridden it out this long, I mean, I think there's less risk in just being variable right now. If you're fixing it near the top. So if you fixed it, I would only fix it for a year. You know what I mean? All right, you guys. I hope that I answered all your questions. YouTube, you guys are pretty quiet tonight, but thanks very much for coming on. TikTok, if you could please just go over to my YouTube page, Ruff Team Realty. It's the exact same name, and follow me over on YouTube. If you're interested, again, in gold and silver, the company that I always use is in the link here. I've used them for like 15 years. A bunch of the guys that are on here often have gone. They use my link and get the gold and silver from them. They deliver it straight to your house. Easy peasy, nice and easy. If you want my course or my books, you can send me an email, contact@Ruff Team Realty. All right, you guys, I hope that you have a fantastic evening. Keep on crushing it, man. There is a lot of deals that are still out there, so it's not too late to keep on pushing. I'll be there for you. We're going to be right through this entire low as we're going to be buying up all the deals at the bottom. Next 2 years is going to dictate the next 20 years of your life. Wish you the best, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Have a good night, YouTube. Really appreciate you coming by. If you want, you can follow me on my TikTok. It has a little bit more comments these days, but it's all right. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great night.